everyone. Happy International Women's Month. I'm very happy to be here today with you all, and especially with Gulay Stelzmullner. She is the CIO of Allianz Technology. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Gulay, and then I'm going to let her present herself. So as a CIO of Allianz Technology, Gulay is responsible for the entire internal IT landscape and all the associated ITSM processes that are very necessary to ensure professional and efficient IT service management and IT service delivery in the entire Allianz Group. And I'm very happy to be here with you today, Gulay, especially because Women in Tech Global Movement and Allianz Technology, it's for the second year in a row that we're having this partnership, and we're very, very proud and very happy to continue this partnership with you. So Gulay, I would like to ask you a little bit about, tell us how you came into technology. What was your journey like? What did you study?
Thank you so much, Ayumi, and thank you also for having me. As you can see, my name is Gulay Stelzmullner. I'm in the IT domain since 20 years, so by now. And I also studied computer science, so my background is really IT. So I'm doing this very passionately. Now in my second company. I started my professional journey at Siemens in the IT space and the corporate IT domain, and at Siemens for more than 16, 17 years. And there I have been seeing many functions, roles, have been responsible for many transformations in the IT space. And then 3 years ago, exactly in 2 days, it will turn to 3 years, with Allianz Technology, also supporting here in the IT, the entire IT service landscape for Allianz Group, which is big. So we are 63 entities, operating entities around the globe, operating in more than 70 countries. And I'm really happy to be part of such an amazing industry, to be honest. Yeah.
Incredible. How many people work in your department, Gulay?
So 350. So we are a global team. So of course we are growing all the time. So we have colleagues sitting in many countries. So in 20 countries is my teams spread across. And we have huge hubs in Barcelona, but also 2 hubs in India. Very huge teams also sitting there.
Oh, talking about India, I'm just looking at all the LinkedIn messages, and we have people from India, people from Nigeria, from Australia. I even saw someone from Papua New Guinea. So it's incredible. Welcome everyone on LinkedIn and on YouTube and on Twitter. We're super happy to have people from all over the world joining us on this little fireside chat today. So Gulay, tell us what you think are some of the biggest challenges facing a CIO today, and how do you go about navigating them?
So it's not only being me in the CIO role. I believe the 20 years in the past have been always the transformation, and transformation is happening all the time, and change is happening all the time. I believe the most challenging in IT is really adapting to the new environment, adapting to change, adapting to also to the speed. Technology is changing, but of course, especially as CIO of Allianz Technology, is always the emerging technologies. We are talking about innovation. We are talking about AI, machine learning. So these are all fast and rapid changing technologies. So it is really crucial to understand as a CIO, what are the technologies and innovations we want to introduce in our company? How does it fit also in our brownfield? So of course, Allianz is a huge company. We are existing since a long time. And we are also a global company. So it's not only one location, one country. Also, we have to understand the needs and the circumstances of our branches and businesses around the globe.
Definitely. So talking about the new technology, what do you think it's the one future technology that you're working right now that's going to that you really find it key to be able to introduce now to your company, that we should all be aware of, and we should be looking for how it's going to be advancing?
So I would like to use the headline automation, to be honest. It's not now giving us any specific technology, but automation is really key for future business and also for today's business. So automation means, as I said before, it's really leveraging more artificial intelligence to run our operation in an automated fashion, so that not human beings are sitting there, that not reactive things are happening to ensure IT stability, to ensure professional services delivered by IT departments. Of course, everyone is talking about ChatGPT, so we have to understand how these technologies will also evolve. We have to learn to use them. We have to understand them. This is exactly what we are looking at, and therefore I would really say it's automation. Whatever technology you can introduce, it should really support automation.
Incredible. Gulay, you're also the mother of 2 children. Are they boy or girls? Can we see?
Yes, my daughter is 12 and my son is 8 years old. Yes.
Oh, and how have you found it? How did you manage to grow into the company and also having family life as well? I know this is a typical female question because we don't ask men that. But for all the mothers out there, this is really questions that we all ask ourselves. Will I be able to? Do I have to choose between my professional life and my personal life? And I often say, no, obviously you don't have to. But how can we manage it? How do you do it? Do you have people helping you? Do you have family around?
Yes, a great question. And as you say, normally only female are being asked this question, but it's important for the others outside to understand how to navigate, as you say. First of all, it starts very early in your private life. I have the greatest husband ever. So, of course, it's really a teamwork. So we can only grow and do these things in a joint team. So therefore, he helped me every time when really I needed the support. I helped him every time when he needed professional support and guidance here. So therefore, it's not a decision if you want to have a family or if you want to have a career or business life. You can manage really both. It's a matter of discipline, of course. You have to be very structured. The day is planned. So, and also the kids are happy, to be honest, with their life. At least I assume so. I hope so. They're very happy children, have happy life, have good friends. So it's really a matter of how do you plan, how do you focus, prioritize, and get really the right support. So, and asking for support also can mean really Now we are back. I believe we had a technical hiccup.
I can see you back again. Well, that's because we're really live, right? So if you want to ask any questions by the message on the comments, please do so. Because if you've seen,
it looks like Ayumi has a bit of technical issues. I can see you again, Ayumi.
You can see me again.
Can you hear me?
I'm back.
Okay, great to have you back.
Sorry about this. I also saw you frozen for a while, but I was telling everyone those are the beauty of the live. When we really live streaming, we did not pre-record this, so you can please ask questions. And I have another question for you, Gulay. So we know how difficult it is today to have women in technology and keeping women in tech, and the importance of having diverse teams. So what's your approach on diversity and inclusion in your technology teams? What are the strategies that you found to be successful to have more, to make this culture of diversity and inclusion really, really work for the benefits of your team and the company?
So there are different dimensions to answer this question. Of course, we have also our HRD departments who are taking care that we have the right pipeline in place, that we really also promote our female tech talents into leadership positions. We need a strong succession planning. We need a pipeline. This is not from a more HR-driven and structural approach. But it needs more, to be honest. It also needs the right mindset. So we have to talk about it. We have to speak about it. We have to be, as also women leaders, we have to be ambassadors. And I have been asked very often in the past years what I think about the quota and what I think about female and women networks. And if you would have asked me 6 years or 5 years ago, I would have said, we don't need a quota, and we also do not need female networks. But I totally changed my mind on this, because I see so few women in leadership positions, and the higher the responsibility and the more responsibility you get, I'm really alone. So in most of the discussions and tables, I'm the only a woman. And I really realized we have to change that. So it can not only be, we can also manage without these quotas and networks. I believe it's really key and important that we speak about it and that we need it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have all these movements, and also here, Women in Tech, what you are really driving with your company. It would be great that not needing these things, but it's needed, and this is really crucial that we also speak about it, and that we also change the way how we see diversity and also equity or equality, whatever is in place at the moment. Of course, the goal should be equity, but we are not yet there, of course.
I'm seeing here that Deborah, she's saying that Gulay, you're not only a mentor, but also a sponsor and a game changer. Tell us about your mentoring. Are you still, do you still have yourself a mentor?
Yes, I still have, and I'm always asking. It doesn't matter which position, which hierarchy level, which experience. I always appreciate getting real feedback. I'm also asking for feedback. And I also believe having a mentor can be really enriching, can be a neutral platform to discuss about challenges, to ask for guidance, to ask for support, even by explaining a challenging situation that can help you to sort your thoughts, your minds, and that helps me all the time. So I can only encourage you to proactively search for a mentor. I don't believe that mentor programs only for female is the answer, but if you have the feeling you need a mentor and a coach, of course, proactively look for the right person. Thank you, Deborah. Good to have you here.
I completely agree with you, Gulay. That's why we, at Women in Tech, we also launched a mentoring program. It's a global mentoring program. We have already paired over 2,000 mentors and mentees, and now we want to scale this. We're launching a platform soon. So everyone can stay tuned. I think in a couple of less than a week, we'll be able to launch that. And it's also going to be AI driven. So we're going to be able to mentor, do the best matches between mentors and mentees now through AI. And it's also, we're going to be able to have, so it's mostly, it's a Women in Tech platform, but no men mentors are also allowed to come, of course, because we embrace diversity. It's not because we are Women in Tech organization that people of other genders are not allowed. On the contrary. So stay tuned. We're going to be able to tell you more about it very soon. What about role models? We talked about mentors. Role models, they say that it's so important, and I read on your bio as well that you really believe that it's difficult to become someone if you can't see that person, right? So who was your role model when you were growing up, and has it changed? Do you have like a role model today?
I didn't have any one specific role model, to be honest. Whenever I saw strong leaders in the IT space, in the domain where I'm working on, and it could be also in my own enterprise company, it was also outside of my company, I was always looking what they are doing differently, So what is their success? How do they communicate? How do they raise their voice? They are visible. I believe if you're not visible, of course, no one knows that you're existing. No one knows about your skills and about your achievements. And therefore, there is not one specific person. I really always appreciate strong leaders. And it's not only now strong leaders, female leaders, but of course, if you see a person who is similar to you, and of course now we are talking about female and gender diversity, you feel a more sense of belonging. You feel more, I can also do this. So therefore you have mentioned now, one of my most famous quota at the moment is really, you can't be what you can't see. So I believe when I see a person where I have the feeling it could even be me in the near future. I believe that motivates people, that motivates also young female talents, maybe hopefully to also go this journey, go this direction.
Gulay, so today you're the CIO of this very big global company. We know how difficult it is going up the ladders or being entrepreneur or having this kind of position. I imagine you must have gone through many challenges. Would you like to share with us one of your biggest challenges that you've been gone through throughout your professional journey?
So it's always a challenge, to be honest. So really, you have to prove, at least this is my experience, you have always to prove more as my male colleagues that you are worth it, yet that you deserved it, and to be there. And but at the beginning, I was really a bit concerned. Now I have to bring more effort. I have to show them more that I deserve it. But then during the course of this journey, I learned to make use of it because I know that I deserve it. I know why I'm there. I'm putting a lot of effort. I'm putting a lot of passion into my job. And I'm not doing this because of climbing the ladder or because of hierarchy, because of positions, because of titles, because I'm doing this really all the time because of my passion, because of driving things, because of changing things to better. And that has always been my driver. But the very interesting situation I had in my professional life, I will never forget about that. And this is really why I encourage my colleagues to always speak up. When I was pregnant the first time with my daughter, so 13 years ago, I was nominated and part of a young female talent pool. It was not even female, I believe it was really a talent pool. And when I and then told my former boss that I'm pregnant, he congratulated me first. And the second remark was, then you don't have to be part of this talent pool anymore. And
Really?
I was I was young and I didn't have this experience 13 years ago to say why. So what is the relation between being pregnant and not being part of a talent pool? I learned that was really a very prominent situation. Afterwards, I had the feeling that didn't felt right. And therefore, I was really speaking up more often. And I also encourage really my colleagues, female talents, to ask why. So what is the problem of being pregnant, being a mother, being still passionate of your profession? So.
Wow. I completely agree with you, Gulay. That's also why one of the questions beforehand, it might seem like a question for women, but women throughout the world, in any company, we face these challenges. I also faced it when I was in the corporate world, and when I had to announce to my boss that I was pregnant. I didn't know how to announce to him. I was very young then as well, and I said to him, I've got bad news. I had to announce I was pregnant. I've got bad news to tell you. He said, what? He says, I'm pregnant. And he says, no, those are good news, kind of. But we don't. It's true that we go through these beautiful moments in life, but at the same time, we try to see how am I going to, be able to continue growing when at the same time we obviously expecting and being a mother. So I completely understand. You told us about how technology and innovation and how everything is changing so fast. Tell us, how do you keep up to date with the latest technology trends and innovation? Do you read books all the time? Are you on social media? Are you do you receive the latest journals on technology? What do you do to keep up to date and not be left behind?
Many things. So I recommend to read, to learn, to exchange, to network. So it can be really short LinkedIn trainings. So you can really listen for half an hour training, you understand technology better, but also peer exchange. So it's really important to understand how others, how peers, how also thought leaders are really tackling the challenges on new technologies, on emerging technologies, and also on conferences, of course. It's really great to see like-minded people. It's great to see the exchange between professionals. So it's an everyday learning, to be honest, to stay up to speed. Because as said, there are so many things kicking in every day. You cannot digest all of them at the same point in time. Therefore, it's really important to also have this peer exchange and also, to challenge yourself by asking the leaders in the market what is their opinion on new technology.
And so you listen to podcasts. Do you do some sport? What do you do to keep energized every day, Gulay?
Yes, I'm running. So I started 7 years ago because it's the easiest. You don't need any gym, you don't need any preparation. You wear your shoes and can go out. And this is really my me time. This is really my balance. So you can do whenever you have time. You can do for 20 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour. But this is especially what is really energizing and giving me the balance and my time to really recover from a stressful, sometimes also a busy day, and this is giving me really the energy I need to be ready for future challenges here.
So when you look back, when you were growing up, so you grew up, I think, in Munich, right? That's where you went to school anyway?
No, so I came to Munich 20 years ago, so 22 years ago. I was born in Germany. Yes, I grew up close to Freiburg. It's a city near the French border.
Oh, so you speak French a little bit?
Yes, a little bit. It's a long time ago, but yes, I still understand, can still speak, yes. I can still say.
Hey, we're waiting for you, Gulay, for our global summit. Très bien. So we're waiting for you in Paris on the 22nd and 23rd of May. It's going to be our global summit in Paris. So you have to come so you can practice your French a little bit more, get it back running.
Definitely.
Tell us how, when you were, if there was with one, the main things that you've learned through these past years in your career, what advice would you give your younger self, like your 18-year-old self, when you were still going to your studies? Is there like one thing you wish you knew back then?
So the one advice is really speak up and be bold and be confident. It's if you have so if you know your job, if you know the topic you're talking about, and this is important, I believe that if you want to be one of the best, you have to understand your job, you have to understand what you are talking about. And as I said, there are no limits, to be honest, to achieve things. And never listen to a no, this is not possible. So I heard so often, this idea you have, that will not be possible. And especially in big companies where complexity is huge and different specifics in different countries, different circumstances, it is an easy thing to say, oh my gosh, this is really too complex. This is too big, what we are trying here. Maybe we skip it to a later stage. And this is always the point when I started to say it is possible. As long as there is no technical limitation, everything else can be managed. So really be bold and try it out. And in most of the cases, if you understood the risks, if you have understood the local specifics, if you have engaged also with the local teams, this is critical if you ask me personally. So a global company cannot be managed by one central team. So this is really a joint exercise. So if all this is clear, I can only encourage you, be bold and take really bold decisions. So it really worked out in most of the cases.
I love this, Gulay, being about being bold and not being scared and taking forward the challenges. What's your metrics for success? Like with your team, do you have like any specific metrics? Is it just the results, or is it something that about how the team, they work together and what you've learned, if there was any challenges?
First of all, I believe it's all about trust and transparency. So a powerful team, a successful team can only be successful if people are trusting each other. And then it's really talking to each other. So you have to build your network, you have to build relationships, you have to understand people's situation, people's circumstances. You have to understand how to navigate through all these challenges. And you also have to lead by example. You have to show your team, oh, my boss is doing this, also we can also do. So I'm not asking my team to do anything which I would not do on my own as well. So it's really a joint together. And of course, you have to be pretty transparent and pretty clear also what do we want to achieve. So it's also very important that the team understands the goal, the target we want to achieve, and then give them also the empowerment and the flexibility to achieve it using their way, using their methodology. So so we can only survive together. So I believe the traditional management of we decide and then it's being executed does not exist anymore. As I said, technology is evolving too fast that one person can decide what needs to be done next. So it's really a joint exercise. And that worked for me in most of the cases, to be honest, to also encourage the people to be part of this journey and not to be driven by outside activities.
So Gulay, you seem to be such an inspiring leader. What was the compliment that was like for you that went closest to your heart, that you're the most proud of, I would say?
That's a not easy question, to be honest. Maybe that was a great one when I have been promoted once a few years ago, and I know that there have been always discussions about promoting more female because of quota, because of the situation we have to, so. But my former boss who promoted me, he told me that I have been promoted not because I'm a female, because I'm the best in this domain, and therefore I deserve it. And that was really for me a very proud moment, because as I said, we always have to fight against this quota discussion. You have been promoted, you're here because of we also need some female candidates. So the usual suspect, one woman sitting on one desk. So I was really proud to hear this is not because now they need a female leader, because at least that was the feedback, because I was the best in this domain at this point in time. I was really proud about this.
That's for sure. And so Gulay, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Can you tell us a little bit? What's your next dream? what do you want to be? What do you want to do?
It would be great to sit at a table with 50% female and 50% male colleagues, really driving, and not only gender diversity, but today's topic is, of course, gender diversity. But it would be really great to see diversity in many, many dimensions. We have the age diversity, we have also the cultural diversity. So that is really what I would like to see. In terms of technology, I would always be part of future innovation. I will always be part of driving the change, of being the change, and hopefully motivating and also inspiring younger generations to be part of this journey.
Thank you so much, Gulay. That's for sure. You are an inspiration to not only women, to little girls, but to men and to everyone out there, showing that it is possible. You're such a young woman with such a responsible and important position in this world company. Because we are live, we are really live, I would just maybe ask the audience if there are any 1 or 2 questions before we wrap up. I don't know if any of you on LinkedIn or YouTube would like to ask a question. Please do. This is the moment. I've got one here that's coming up from South Africa. It says, tell us about a career-defining moment.
As I said, there have never been a career-defining moment for me. So I was really giving the best I could give in my job. Doesn't matter which one. I started as a junior developer. I was really coding in my first 2 years of my journey. I even don't want to call career because I never started this journey to make a career or to be here where I am today. It was always the passion to change the world. It was always whatever I do, I wanted to be the best, bringing the company value and doing the changes and bringing really or creating a huge impact. Therefore, I also love to be in a big enterprise, to be honest. So I was before at Siemens, now I'm with Allianz, because whatever you do, you can really create a global impact if you do this globally in a big company. And I'm so proud of the teams who would like to be part of it. So therefore, it was always a natural move, to be honest. It came because I had great managers also during my career who have seen this passion, who have seen this drive, and also who have seen that I never give up. So I always encourage my team to search for opportunities where many people say that's not possible.
And we've got some people asking questions. So she wanted to know, what made you opt for computer science?
That's interesting. So I started 97. At that point in time, I even didn't had a computer. So I had 1 or 2 years in school. We had a bit of computer science. It was the beginning of all these things. And I was good in math. And I had the feeling, okay, you need math to study computer science. And maybe this could be something which I like. And I can tell you, I didn't like computer studies. So it was really, so as you can imagine, so nerdish people, and only few female students. So I really felt a bit like an alien. And also everyone else looked at me like I'm wrong. I was maybe in a wrong room. So, but I really had I had fun to learn more from this profession, from this studies. It was hard studies. I have to be really open. I said I would like to complete it because I like technology, because I like the logic. So I'm a 0-1 person. So I need a formula which I can make use of. And therefore I had the feeling I have to finish these studies. I did. And when I started working with Siemens as a working student, I understood what is the need and what is really the goal of this studies. And then I really started loving this job. So it was really maybe unusual start being in the computer science area and technology area, but I'm really happy that I completed my studies.
We've got Vivian who's asking, how can one move from a developer to a management role?
You can move from every role to a manager role. So I don't see that there's any limit or any burden or anything which does not allow you to be a manager. So for me, to be honest, it was even easier to move in management roles because I understand every language. I understand the language of the engineer, of the developer, but I also understand the management translation skills. So it's even advantage to be a developer and maybe in the future to be a leader.
Behind the lines of code, or do you check like your team's code still, or not anymore?
No, not at all. I don't do any micromanagement. So if I would check the code of my teams, that would look like a bit, I'm micromanaging. I really trust the teams, and to be honest, I do not even have the capacity anymore to do things like that. No, I would not do this.
Oh. Well, thank you so much, Gulay. It was such an honor. It was such a pleasure to have this fireside chat discussion with you. Because with all these questions, well, we could go on and on and on, but I guess You have got many things to do as well. It was already lovely to be able to spend this 40 minutes together. And if there's maybe one little message that you would like to give the other women out there, and ladies that would like to join Allianz, or who are thinking of computer studies, or would like to move or to transition into tech, would there be like one message to all of them?
Yes, I can only encourage you, always raise your hand if you see any opportunity to grow, if you see any opportunity for leadership roles, even though you have the feeling this is a big step, maybe you are also a bit concerned and you also fear a bit what to expect. Take it, you will grow and you will learn and you will succeed.
Wow. Well, that's a take for everyone. Thank you so much, Gulay. It was once again a real pleasure to have you here. I'm looking forward to welcoming you and your team in Paris for the Women in Tech Global Summit in the 22nd and the 23rd. And if anyone else still have some questions, because there's so many, but we won't be able to go through all of them, but please write on the LinkedIn or on the YouTube comments, and then maybe Gulay and myself, we can come over and then we'll answer it on the chat. Thank you once again so much, and let's keep up to date very soon.
Thank you so much, Ayumi. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having me. Thank you. See you soon. Thanks everyone for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.